Welcome back to AST with your host, Matty B. Today we got Marcus Sims, which is the owner and founder of Tedious. Marcus, tell me a little bit about what Tedious is, what it does, what problems it solves, bro.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you having me on the podcast.
I appreciate you coming out, man.
Absolutely.
We even showed up 10 minutes early, bro. I appreciate that.
I like to be punctual.
Yeah.
So, no, I appreciate that. We've been talking about it for a while, so I'm glad we got it up and you got it up and running, and
I'm glad you're on,
be
bro.
a part of it.
Yeah.
So, but Tedious came about. It was the middle of a Minnesota blizzard. There was 10 inches of snow. And while I was blowing the snow from the driveway, my snowblower broke, and I had to shovel 10 inches of snow by hand. And then kind of at the same time while I was out there, my next-door neighbor returned from Arizona to a cleared driveway, and he had mentioned that to me, that another neighbor cleared it for him. And that's when I kind of got that serendipitous moment that, dang, why is there no service like this where I could use this service. My snowblower broke. He was on vacation. He could use a service like this. Why is there no on-demand solution for snow removal? And then that expanded into leaf removal, fertilizer, lawn care, where we're at today. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how Tedious came about. I knew kind of the exact business model I wanted to do within the first 5 minutes of realizing that. I knew the exact name. I was like, well, this is a tedious task. Like, tedious, that makes sense. Let's do Tedious.
Yeah. I got to touch on that, though. If you can find a one-word name that actually makes sense and works well, it's like fucking gold.
Game over.
Gold.
Game over. No, I mean, it all really worked out. Like I said, it happened within 5 minutes. I knew the colors I wanted. I knew how I wanted the layout to look. I knew everything within 5 minutes. It wasn't something that was forced or I was looking for. It just kind of fell in my pocket. And
so let me ask you this. You realized that this sucked after you shoveled a bunch of snow.
Mm-hmm.
The idea sparked when your neighbor came home, still winter,
Yep.
right? So what was like the first thing? Because 5 minutes is pretty fucking quick, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the first action item when you were like, light bulb, let's put this to become a reality? Like what's like the first step to fucking go?
Yeah, so I mean, I've already had a background in like tech with the previous company that I started, but so I don't even think I finished the driveway. I think I went straight into the house. Seriously,
I don't even need to do that right now.
No, I got this brilliant game-changing idea.
I ain't leaving for a long time.
Exactly. I'm like, I got to get this all on paper before I forget it all. And you know how everyone has ideas, and it's like, I want to put this on paper because I know this is going to be a great idea. So I literally went in the house and I started mocking up the app on a program, on a software program, and doing the UX UI, which is the user interface, user experience for those that don't know, how it looks, how it feels. And I started doing that immediately. Started messing with logos, trying to come up with a logo,
getting some tangible stuff to make it a reality.
Exactly. Getting that tangible stuff on paper, and then and then I just ran with it. It was crazy. It was nuts.
All right, so you touched on the fact that this happened really quickly. You touched on the fact that you had some previous experience to basically allow you to put that piece of shit snowblower down and go lock yourself in your house and get to work.
Mm-hmm.
So Podium was the original platform that kind of probably taught you a lot of lessons, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so to give you some background on Podium. So Podium was really my first entrepreneurial venture. I started that, co-founded that with one of my good buddies, Will Powell. We started that while we were actually in Germany. We can probably touch back on that as well. But Podium is essentially, we wanted to be this LinkedIn for sports. We built this stats app that allows you to take live stats from an iPad for American football. And then it produces a game cast like ESPN for fans to be able to watch it. They see stats on both sides, both teams. And then it all syncs up to each player's profiles. So essentially they're updating their sports resume live. So
who updates it, right? Anybody? Like, or who how does the stats get into those?
From the app. So the app produces the stats, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, but where do the stats come from? Did you guys create a linkage between where the stats are posted to this one app?
No.
No.
Sorry, let me break it down. So you're watching a game, right? And there's an official scorer that takes the stats,
Yes.
right? So we allow you to do that on your iPad. So that iPad, all those stats that are being taken on that app, they're automatically synced. We already have the rosters of each player, right, for the team, for the game.
Yep.
And it, all that information after the game uploads to each player's profiles and updates their profiles for them.
Got it.
So we wanted to build a completely super complex. I mean, there's a lot going on with it, with live stats, with having fans be able to log in, with players being able to manage their own profiles, but yet we have an aspect where we manage it. There was a lot going on, and this
a lot of the data comes from y'all, though, right? Initially,
right. Yeah, exactly. And we were 23, 24 at the time, and not a clear. We had this grand idea in our heads. It made sense, but.
And how did the idea start? Because obviously in professional sports, you can get this information on the drop of a dime anywhere you want, right?
Right. So I guess to take you back a little bit, it all started when we were playing in Germany. So I played at the University of South Dakota, and then I played there for 4 years. And obviously everyone thinks they're going to go to NFL, tried the NFL route, CFL, that kind of thing. But I had an opportunity to go play over in Germany. Played in Germany. One of the receivers got hurt. I played running back.
Yeah.
And then my college teammate was also, he was in France at the time. And my receiver got hurt, and I asked him to come over and play because his season was just ending, so it was like perfect timing. And yeah, I'm like, why can't I would love to play with my college teammate. And me and him weren't really close at the time, but we got a lot closer since. But yeah, we were in a basement or an attic in Germany, and we're like, man, the stats here suck. There's not really there's no structure. I mean, American football in Europe, right?
Yeah.
It's not like American football here,
No.
where there's so much structure and the stats are taken properly and things like that. So we saw the problem of like, we want to solve that problem in Europe. And that's kind of where the idea came. Yeah.
Got you. And so you graduated from University of North Dakota, yeah?
South Dakota.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Those
So
are fighting words.
I know, right? So you and the co-founder started that, and that was the gateway to the learning experience from building a technological platform to running a business, right? Like, what's your background, man? I know that you just said earlier that you did a lot of these software programs for Tedious yourself. But what about the back end of Podium, right? There's got to be some computer programming to that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, we were trying to build this website. We were trying to build this super robust stats app, and all that takes a lot of. We were trying to develop a huge platform, and that takes a lot of technological knowledge and a lot of money as well. So basically, with that situation, we ended up raising over $1.3 million with that company. My co-founder, he's pretty connected within the Sioux Falls area, so we
did a lot of this work start taking off the ground when you came home, or did this stuff just continue in Germany for a while?
The idea sparked in Germany, and then we came home to get the money.
Got it.
And then we kind of returned back to Germany, and then we were also in Poland and that kind of thing. But it started in Germany, and then we came back home, got some money, and kind of ran with it from there. But got the $1.3 million, hired a bunch of developers, project managers, the things you're supposed to do as an entrepreneur with $1.3 million.
Sure.
And yeah, it just doesn't work like that. You can't. I mean, when we presented the idea to the company or the freelancers that helped us do it, we should have had a red flag then. We should probably have an MVP, which is a minimum viable product first, before trying to incorporate all these cool things where things are all connected, and we got to find one thing and do it well. And we didn't really get that concept at the beginning, at our early stages. So yeah, long story short, we kind of blew through $1.3 million essentially.
In how long?
And how long? I mean, it was over a course of a year and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a half, something like that. So, I mean, but
when you guys were hiring the developers and stuff like that, I mean, did you guys have a little bit of background in that stuff? Or so you don't really...
None.
It's hard to hire people to do a job when you don't have a little bit of taste of it.
Exactly. And that's exactly what happened. It's like they're telling us, hey, you need these quality assurance people. You need this. You need 2 developers on the front end for iOS and 2 on the back end for iOS. And then also you need Android, and you need a desktop guy, front end, back end, and you need all these other things. So they're just selling us on all these other things. And we really didn't have the knowledge. Neither one of us have a technical background. Neither one of us are programmers. I mean, he was a finance guy. I was sports management. I thought I was going to be an athletic director at the college level. So yeah, just the lack of knowledge and just being young.
And a lot of that shit makes a lot of sense when somebody tells you need it and they are a professional in that space. But they're an idealist, right?
Absolutely.
They're like, this is an ideal scenario. That's what we need. And then you had the money to get it, so you got it.
Exactly.
But there's also another option to just be cheap as fuck for a little while until you figure some shit out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually what I'm doing with TDS now. And that kind of the learning lesson with that is like, hey, just because you have money doesn't fix the problems or fix the issues. You need to really hash out everything about the business first before you try to put money or add make the flame bigger, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, right now the term is bootstrapping it. We're bootstrapping TDS at the moment. I mean, I've raised a little bit of friends and family around, but nothing too significant. But the initial version of TDS, I actually programmed myself. So
you did delve into that and learn some shit after the first round.
So I learned a lot about project management with Podium and spending that much money on developers. I learned a lot. I mean, so much. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's a complete waste of money, but
sure.
Of course, our investors probably not.
Yeah. So you said, primarily, maybe your co-founder was pretty connected. Was there any blowback, or did the investors kind of really know that you guys might have been having fun and on fire, and just wanted to see what y'all could do with it?
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple issues. There was a couple issues that came up, but I mean, we still have a good relationship with our investors. We're still, Podium is still alive and well. We're hosting different camps in Miami. We're more of a events company now, essentially. We host a lot of combines in Europe and Mexico.
Does the other individuals still kind of daily operate it?
Yep, Will Powell. He's the CEO of the company. He's still running it, and he's still guiding that ship. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, and we still got a couple exciting things in the future that we're thinking about launching. Hopefully better than we did the previous thing. Hopefully we learn from our mistakes from then. But I still feel very good about that company and see what it can do, but I'm not really involved in the day-to-day with it.
Sure. Do you still have some ownership interest in it?
Yep, I do. So I still have ownership interest in the company. Obviously, me and Will still talk pretty much every week. If he needs me to do anything, I'm pretty good with like design and the computer now. So if I need to do design work or any kind of marketing videos or ads or
you
whatever.
Step in when you can.
Exactly. Whenever I can help him, I'll help him out. Or if he asks for my opinion on something, I'll give it to him and that kind of thing. But
ultimately, you love sports, man. Football was a big part of your life, right?
It was huge, man. I mean, it really is the driving factor of where I am today.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, the co-founder of the first company I started was a guy I played football with. We were both played at the University of South Dakota for 4 years together.
And then if the wide receiver hadn't got hurt, we might not be talking here today about this shit.
Who knows?
Right?
Seriously, if he didn't get hurt, I mean, I don't know where I would be. I may not have gotten into entrepreneurship. I mean,
You probably would have.
I probably would have. Just
might have
knowing
taken a little longer.
Exactly. It would have taken a little bit longer, and maybe I wouldn't have learned those mistakes. Or even had the opportunity, because I mean that's the opportunity to learn those mistakes. You know what I mean? Like how many people get the opportunity to learn with that kind of money? I mean, you just don't, and it's something that you you really can't. No one can tell you that. You have to learn. It's not like we were blowing the money. Like you
just didn't know what you didn't know.
We just
man.
didn't know, and that's what it was. It wasn't like we weren't just having fun, and we were really trying to build a company. And we're still trying to build a company with that. So it's a lot of learning curve. But
did you have anybody else that kind of got pretty involved in the process, or was it pretty much just you two at the beginning?
It was us.
Yeah.
It was me and him figuring it out, and that's one of the things that, looking back on it, I wish we had more guidance from our investors. Our investors were more angel investors, and they were very hands off.
I feel you.
They were just like, we're gonna throw.
I'm busy, bro. Good luck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're not really sweating $200K,
right?
Like that. I mean, of course they want it back, but
sure.
They're not like. They're not going to lose too much sleep over it.
And their time is worth stupid money sometimes. I mean, depending on what somebody does with their time, it probably was worth a lot more than my time.
Exactly. So they just didn't really have the time or even knowledge to guide us. I mean,
that's a new set of entrepreneurial endeavors for most investors.
Absolutely. And think about it. We're in South Dakota. Our investors from South Dakota. Come on.
You ain't out in California right now.
Exactly. We're not on the West Coast in the Silicon Valley where there's a bunch of tech, a bunch of venture capitalists that are just throwing money at these ideas.
Yeah.
Like these are, in
that's
the bar.
A pretty big feat to even get that amount of money, even if you know some people that have a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially in South Dakota. Hey, you want to invest in this tech company? What do you mean? It ain't a farm?
Exactly. It's not a farm. It's not a bar.
We ain't playing football.
Exactly.
But at least you had a sports idea behind it.
Exactly.
That probably excited some people.
Oh, absolutely. And when Will, he was the man in South Dakota.
Yeah.
He was like Mr. South Dakota kind of guy. So I mean, everyone loved him. He went to the private high school there, and
he's from there.
He's from South Dakota. He's from
see.
Sioux Falls. So he went to the private high school there, and then he was like the star boy at South Dakota, University of South Dakota. So homegrown, and everyone supported him, and that's kind of. His connections really allowed us to land that kind of money that quickly. And he's a great salesman. Like, I mean, when you talk to him, he's super enthusiastic. He can sell you on anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, when you believe in something and you're good with your words, it's hard for somebody else on the other side to say no.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're a stand-up dude in the community and you have a reputation too, because that takes a long time to build. People value it, especially in small towns, dude.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. So, are you solo on this next endeavor called Tedious or what?
Yes. So this is my first solo venture. Like I said, once I started it, I had the idea.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the. I'm trying to figure out how to program this dang thing. So I literally.
And so okay, let's get super
Let's dive into
it. Not computer savvy at all, listeners, right?
Yeah.
Coding does what for you, right? When you're talking about getting this up and running, coding equals what? Like a visual experience for the customers, a user interface. What are you coding for?
Coding is it's the foundation. It's everything. It's the visual. It's the buttons, the button layouts. It's the back end, how you store the names, how you store user. I mean, it's everything about an app. Anything in the app is how the app runs, how the app functions.
And so you use an app. You click the fucking hamburger menu.
Yep.
It goes to home. It goes to shop. It goes to cut my lawn right now.
Yep.
I'll pay you a premium, right?
Yep.
I mean,
exactly.
And then you on the back end get data from the user experience on the front end,
mm-hmm.
and what you're telling me is all that's code no matter what.
Yep.
Got it.
Exactly. So I had no idea. Even after the whole Podium experience, I still didn't know how to code. But I dove into it because essentially I moved back home. We were living in Europe I lived in Europe for 3 years. And then I moved back home. We were pretty much out of money with Podium.
Damn, 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I moved back home to my parents' house. And yeah, the idea came about and I started learning how to program. So I think I spent night and day for 3 months learning how to code in Swift, which is iOS, which is iPhone's language, how to build on iOS.
And that was probably just, hey, man, this is the most popular platform,
mm-hmm.
user platform. This is what I'm going to start with.
Exactly. There's a couple different factors that played into it, but yeah, you usually want to pick either iOS or Android when you're starting on a device, and iOS users tend to be early adopters compared to Android guys, but
all right, so what did you look up fucking in Google how to Swift or what?
Yeah. No, I mean, YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is king. Like, if you need to know anything, I'm very self-sufficient when it comes to learning things. I love to learn just by going on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a powerful platform. You can learn anything on YouTube. I literally learned from following tutorials, and I wasn't that good at coding, like by any means. I was good enough to be able to put together a MVP version, and then once I got the version, I was like, oh man, I can press this button and it'll order something, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Because,
like,
dude,
next level.
there's something rewarding about spending all them hours for 3 months and you got to function. Like it does something.
Absolutely. With no money. I had $0 to my nothing. I mean, I was super broke. I mean, after we just lost all this money with Podium and I'm broke.
And the parents are letting you stay for free, right?
For free.
The stars got to align somehow.
Absolutely. I mean, of course. Yeah, no. Shout out to my parents for letting me stay there forever.
For sure.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a journey for sure. It was a journey.
Yeah. And so you went to college. I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm not sure how to analyze my experience. I had a fuck off a little bit experience during college, but they're both have the potential to be super value, learning in the real world and learning in school.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? How would you describe your college experience in short order? And mainly because football was such a big part of it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, community learning, just overall, right? Like, what do you think about the value of going to school? Did you get a free ride? Did you get?
Yeah, so I did go. I was on a full ride scholarship there. Had a couple offers coming out of high school, and I decided, to play at the University of South Dakota. Definitely thankful for that opportunity. To be a free education. I mean, that's not easy to come by.
No, man.
But yeah, I just wasn't mature enough, honestly, at the time to really get the value out of college that I should have.
Same here,
to be honest. I was more into football and partying.
Yeah.
It was football
Maybe
and partying
girls.
And girls. And I mean, I was naturally good at school, but I just never applied myself as much as I could have.
Yes.
I think, it was honestly embarrassing, like, to even think back on. I think my first semester coming in, we partied all the time. I'm not gonna lie. As a freshman on the football team, and I think I had like a 1.7 GPA. Ooh. Yeah. I don't think I went to class really. And then I ended up graduating with like a 3.4, something like that. But it took a long time to recover. A lot of work, but I just wasn't in the right mindset.
There's a lot of distractions, man.
A lot.
There's a lot of opportunities to have fun, and some of those provide learning experiences too. So everyone's got a different experience. But the value for education for you, being able to go there and not have to pay because you did the work in high school to get good enough at a sport to give you a free ride. Not that you should try any less hard at school,
of course,
but it makes it way easier when you graduated, in my opinion, to become an entrepreneur, because you're not bootstrapped with student debt, because that is a reality of many people's stories that I do find limits your opportunity to go out there and not get paid right away.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the stars really aligned for me when it comes to that kind of stuff. Being on a full ride, not having to worry about student loans, my parents letting me live there for free. Those are small details that really, really matter, because a lot of people, entrepreneurship is, you're a high risk person, right?
Yeah.
You're really risking a lot than the average person. And people that they had maybe kids young, or they started a family. It's tough to get out of those cycles or out of those situations, or risk those situations, right? Whereas I didn't have any kids. I didn't have any student loan debt. So it's like, I could risk this. I could go for these things that I thought were awesome.
And you don't need a lot of money to live every day, right?
Exactly.
And that allows you some freedom, for sure.
Absolutely. So, that mindset, I've always had that mindset, and I've been very thankful for that whole situation.
So let's hit on mindset real quick. You had the mindset going into school, like many young individuals. But then when you got out of school, you know, when you're talking about, I spent 3 months. I mean, what does that look like? I mean, are we talking sun up to sundown, going to the gym? Like, basically what I'm asking you is, for me, I was never obsessive in school. It wasn't intriguing enough. Like, I didn't connect the dots. I wasn't in the right mindset. But in the real world, when you get out there and start learning some stuff, making those small little accomplishments that you're talking about with functionality, giving you the confidence to get to the next level, I mean, a lot of time alone, things like that. I mean, what's the grind look like?
Man, I mean, first of all, I realized I didn't want to work a regular 9 to 5. Right after college, I didn't make the NFL. I moved to Denver. I was living in Denver.
And basically, man, for a long time in your brain, like, I got a shot at doing the NFL, bro.
That was my whole mindset. I'm like, what's this 9 to 5 thing? That's not me. That's not happening.
That's for the birds,
yeah,
bro.
exactly. What's no way. So yeah, I moved to Denver. I was working at Enterprise, the rental car place, in the management trainee program.
Dude, that program's pretty serious, though.
Oh, it is serious. I mean, you're working 10 or 12-hour shifts, and you're constantly selling and exhausted.
I've heard it's meant to be to weed out the fucking weak.
Oh, absolutely, and it does.
Yeah.
And it does. And it wasn't for me. I'm like, there's no way. I don't want to try to climb this corporate ladder and do all the things necessary to climb.
But did it teach you something about that sales activity and I mean, dude, a lot of people companies hire out of that program specifically nationwide.
Oh, you're constantly selling. I mean, when you realize the power of sales and the power of giving, really, I mean, it's really just a transfer of energy, right? If you're passionate about something, like, hey, you really need this car deductible. You should pay this $35.99 a day to get this deductible.
And let me fill up the gas tank for you, bro.
Why
you
not?
know?
Hey, don't worry about, just bring it back empty, and I'll come and we'll fill it up for you. No problem. You just prepay for the whole tank.
Yeah.
And it's really getting that emotion across. And I mean, it's constantly. I mean, you're doing 20, 30 a day. I mean, so it really it teaches you the sales process for sure.
And it programs you them 12-hour days, man, because the difference between an 8-hour day and a 12-hour day seems like double.
Absolutely, absolutely. It definitely does. And then, like, just moving forward from there, Enterprise, I was like, nah, this is not for me. I went overseas. I played in Germany, and then I played 2 years in Europe. And obviously the whole Podium thing happened, and I came back, and I was spending, every waking hour of the day, I was working on programming and trying to figure out how to program this. I mean, you got to think, my back was against the wall. We just lost this money. I got to figure something out. We didn't have enough money to be able to employ both of us. So one of us had to come off salary, and he was the CEO, so I knew he wasn't coming off salary.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, it's probably going to be you. So you probably should, like, start, thinking otherwise. And like I said, I really wasn't looking for other opportunities, and it just kind of happened. But yeah, it was sun up to sundown of programming. I mean, I really dove into it. I probably don't know a lick of coding now, just because we've outsourced everything since.
Yeah.
But at the time, I really, like, all those slashes and dots, and it started making sense to me. And that was a really rewarding feeling, to be able to really understand and learn something. And like you said, when I press that button, it all of a sudden pops out the side menu. That was crazy.
Fucking victory.
Crazy.
And you say you outsource it now, but learning that probably helped you spend money a lot more wisely on who you hired and what was necessary. And that, I think, is a forgotten about piece that's really important. You got to know enough to know how to incorporate somebody else to your business, right? And if it's not you, you better know somebody that you trust real well to make that decision for you.
Absolutely. I mean, now when you hire a developer, you know the right questions to ask, and you want to see past projects, and all the things you don't necessarily need in your app right away.
Yeah.
And how
that might be luxury. I want them someday.
I want this feature, but is it really going to make the difference between them pressing the button and them getting lawn care?
Yeah.
Not really, right? And you got to really break it down to the very basics of your app. And I mean, for the first year, year and a half, even still to this day, I'll still go out and mow lawns. I'll still do snow. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow. I'll probably be out there shoveling snow. But I just really been reinvesting my money. So any money that I've made, I've just kind of recirculated it back into the business and kind of bootstrapped this from there. And I think that's honestly the best way to build a company.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it forces you to slow down and really put your money towards the things that actually matter and not get ahead of yourself.
Yeah. So right now, man, you're still doing some of the work yourself out in the streets, doing that. And, tell me a little bit about how you started off. You needed some funding, right? Mm-hmm. This shit isn't free. You got to have a little bit. In comparison to the 1.2, like how lean does this project look in comparison? You got a dollar amount approximately?
Oh, it's not even close. I think I've taken about 50,000. So
I don't even know what percentage that is, but it's a lot lower.
a lot lower. Not even the same. Yeah, it's quite a bit lower. 50,000 from friends and family.
Yeah.
Friends and family that just believed in me. And yeah, so I took just that amount. And
so right now you're kind of recycling, right? And that recycling just means you have enough money to keep going with the revenue coming in, recycling it inside, and maybe paying yourself a little bit of money.
Exactly. So any kind of money we make, I reinvest it. And that's the goal, is to continue to grow until I get to the point that, maybe I can pull out money, or if that's the case.
Yeah. All right. So tediousapp.com is how you get there on a web browser, right?
Yep.
And then Tedious Task is the Instagram handle. Is that the app handle when you go to download it?
If you type in Tedious in the Google Play Store or in iOS, you should be able to find it. Yeah.
We'll throw the little logo up, but
Sure.
what's the logo stand for? Is that a time glass, right?
Yeah, it's an hourglass.
Yeah,
just kind of the. So, I mean, we really want to harp on speed. So, with lawn care, we were able to get there within 2 hours, which in that industry is pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's really fast. And it just, saving time for customers, saving time for property managers, realtors, homeowners.
Yeah, and so you can manage multiple properties right from, is it the desktop, or can you do that through the mobile?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have multiple properties, if you're a realtor, you're able to request.
Or a property manager, maybe you just own a bunch of investment properties.
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. You're able to request lawn care for all of your properties or snow, whatever service you need, right through the app, and you're able to see. We send you live status updates. So when someone started, when they're en route, that kind of thing, and then we'll send you before and after photos as well. So
Perfect.
And it's all cashless. You pay in app, you can tip your providers in app, and
So you ain't even ever got to go check up on shit. You don't have to do that as the owner of the property.
Yeah, no. I mean, and like I said, like the idea came from when my neighbor was on vacation. It was like, well, he's on vacation. Why shouldn't he be able to know that his snow is cleared for him, right? So we send you those before and after photos so you can get a confirmation and you know that the work was done and it was done well.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So throughout the course, man, I think any startup similar to this one, you can even go back to the Uber days, right? Mm-hmm. Was there a struggle on supply versus demand, right? Like you got people that want this stuff done, but the supply of people that are signed up to do the work hasn't quite caught up.
Right.
What does that look like, man? What does that look like for you as the owner?
Yeah, so I mean, any kind of marketplace type of platform, the Ubers, Lyfts, DoorDash, all
whatever,
those, whatever.
Right?
There's always that balance you have to play. You want to have enough providers, but you don't want to have enough providers where none of them are getting work.
Yeah.
None of them.
They got to make enough money to stay on the provider list.
Exactly. They want to be able to rely on and know that they can make some money on the platform. And then on the flip side, you don't want to have not enough customers, right? So it's definitely a balance you have to find. But yeah, we're trying. At this point, we're still young. I mean, we just completed our first full year, so we're going on year 2
right now. This will be the second spring season then, right?
Yeah. This will be actually the third.
Because of the timing of when it started.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Yeah, we're trying to grow both providers and customer base for sure right now. So I mean, right now we're in Minneapolis, we're in Sioux Falls, and then we're in Omaha, Nebraska. So those are 3 areas that we're starting in.
Got it.
And then hopefully grow from there.
Yeah. And so them other locations, one of them sounds familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Omaha definitely doesn't.
Nope.
Is that Nebraska?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's not really your territory for you to deal with the headaches and the nonsense, right? Like that's kind of like, hey, you found somebody in them areas and they want to take and expand what you got going on.
Exactly. And we're really trying to perfect that expansion model. Do we just hire a bunch of subcontractors and try to expand? Do we get a person to lead it, like a area manager? So we're really still trying to figure that out. But we have a couple guys in those areas that are leading the charge in each area. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And you just knew them previously?
No.
They reached out?
Met them online.
Right.
So I wanted to expand to Sioux Falls because an investor, I was looking for investment money at one point. An investor mentioned like, "Hey, I want you to be able to expand to different cities." So he's like, "Once I see that, I'll think about investing." So I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." The next logical place that made sense was Sioux Falls for me. It was like it's not a huge metro area, but it's big enough.
It's big enough.
I have ties there,
right?
And I kind of put out an ad, and next thing you know, a young kid. Riley, he messaged me, and he already had an existing lawn care company, and it all worked out. And actually, his dad's an investor in the company now. So, yeah, it was crazy.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, just throw yourself out there as much as you can.
Yeah,
you just never know.
And then you'll be able to recognize the opportunities that come your way, and with some mistakes, you'll be able to recognize the opportunities that you say no to, and don't take those ones.
Absolutely, those mistakes are crucial.
Yeah.
Crucial in learning and being able to filter out all the nonsense.
Sure, yeah.
And navigate the path of business, because I don't think anybody gets through business unscathed. You're gonna get some battle wounds in business, no matter who you are. Some are big, some are small, but you're definitely gonna face some challenges for sure.
Yep, for sure, man. So speaking of challenges. This one isn't about business directly, but of course it always is.
Okay.
So, you know me, right? I got a girlfriend, longtime girlfriend.
Sure.
Live together, 2 kids that live with us, and that's been happening for a while. I mentioned in the first episode, like I did slow that down, right? I had to in order to keep going on the path that I was going and getting ready for that. So you ain't got no kids yet, right?
No, nope.
Recently though, got a girlfriend. A year ago now.
We've been going
9 months?
Year. No, it's been about a year, a little over a year. Yeah.
All right.
About a year and a half. Yeah.
So I know we haven't talked in a little while because of this quarantine situation.
Sure.
And everyone's kind of fucking
isolating.
Social
distancing.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I pretty much met you at the gym, didn't I? That's pretty much where we met. Yeah,
I believe so. I mean, I think I saw you at the gym, and I knew you owned the GNC.
Yeah, you knew Nicole before that, right?
I knew Nicole before that. I actually used to work at GNC.
For real?
Yeah,
I didn't even knew that.
Yeah. I used to work at GNC back in high school. So I worked at GNC, and I think that's where I knew Nicole. And then, years later, I came back from overseas, and
and you're from here? Your
you.
Parents live in Brooklyn Park or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Parents are from here, so came back here, and I think I saw you in the gym, and we just started talking, and it was like, oh, there's another business-minded person, like-minded person. I was like,
yeah, we talked pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to be like, all right, dude, like I gotta go work out.
Yeah. I tried to avoid you in the gym because I knew it was going to be a 2-hour-long conversation.
Don't get too close to me.
We're getting zero pump, zero gains if we start talking.
All right, so relationships, right?
Yeah.
We'll just stick to getting a girlfriend. I think a lot of young people are at that stage, and if you got some kids, that's a whole nother ball of wax because that's just some stuff that you got to attend to, right? But do you have any suggestions, or what was your experience? You're kind of deep in the middle of getting tedious. A lot of the back end shit, I remember you saying, a lot of the back end outsourcing, the automation, the virtual customer service representative, stuff like that.
Yep.
And then still doing the work, right?
Yep.
Like actually going outside and doing it.
Yep.
So, if anything, how do you think, getting into a relationship, when you're not used to being in a relationship, because you want to be in a relationship, right?
Of course.
But that's time, that's money, I'm pretty bad, but I have to like intentionally switch my mindset over to, hey, like I need to allocate attention to this beautiful woman because a lot of times my mind's just running 100 miles an hour in the background, and if somebody talks to me, I might not even hear him.
And Megan already knows. Like she says you're there, but sometimes you're not there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm constantly thinking about other ventures or whatever problems we're running into and with Tedious. But I mean, a relationship is huge. Whether it's an intimate relationship or not, you need some kind of support system to help you through an entrepreneurial journey, man. There's a lot of ups and downs, and you need someone that understands it, or at least is willing to support you through it. For sure.
Do you think it can be a bad relationship, right? Not all relationships are good, right? And so for some young guys out there, how do you know?
You know when they're willing to support you, when they're willing to support you and go through the journey with you, and that's when you know that's a good person for you. If they're always constantly nagging you and saying, well, you're not giving me enough time, or you have to do this when we were supposed to do this, and it's like you're always on the clock. You don't clock out when you're an entrepreneur. So you're always putting out fires, and they have to understand that. So when you find someone that understands that, or someone that's willing to learn and grow, then that's someone that's going to be good for you for sure.
I like that shit.
Yeah.
That was a good explanation. I like that, man.
Yeah.
All right, so your mind's always turning.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how it is for you, you know, my company being in the mortgage industry, we can transfer to work from home like basically like a drop of a dime.
Right.
My internet's a little shitty at my place because everyone's probably playing games and watching Netflix, but we can still be productive at a very, very high level. The whole industry, from real estate services to title companies, right, has been deemed essential. What does that look like? What does that look like for you with this particular endeavor that we're talking about? I know it's kind of an in-between season, right? Like, we're right at the point where we don't get a lot of snow, and the grass still isn't exactly. But I don't know when you start fertilizer. I don't know when you start any of that shit.
Yeah. So I mean, we're really in between seasons. I mean, this kind of whole coronavirus thing is really it hit us in between seasons. So we were gonna have a lull anyway within business. So it's kind of just it's not really stopping anything. We're lawn care workers are deemed essential as well.
So you can go do whatever if somebody wants it.
Yep,
yeah?
Exactly. They actually extended that this new extension when they extended the stay-at-home order. They included essential workers for lawn care. So we're able to operate business as usual.
So previously, when it was supposed to be the 10th, they were like, no, you guys don't actually need to be out there.
Exactly.
It's April in Minnesota.
Yep.
Chill out.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yep. And then they extended that to us. So we're super thankful for that. That way, none of my providers have issues. But it's business as usual. We'll see how it affects on the customer side. You know, obviously, a lot of people have lost jobs. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Bunch of unknowns on that subject,
exactly.
right?
For sure.
GNC even supplements. I don't know how they got deemed the essential services, but they have been the whole times.
Oh, nice.
And it's crazy because I hear some other owners getting beat up in other states, and their counties are trying to close them down.
Okay.
They've all actually argued and ended up being able to stay open.
Okay.
But dude, I mean, you know, you walk into a GNC, you can get nutritional products, food-like products, meal like whatever you want, right? And chances are there's probably only going to be about one person in the store, right?
Yeah.
Not high risk in my opinion.
Right.
Go to the grocery store, man, I got a mask. I'm gonna go ahead and bring that.
Absolutely.
But you know, we're still hurting.
Yeah.
Down about 40%, dude.
Wow.
That's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
In Chicago, it's real bad. It sounds like 75 mostly, you know, because they're like really locked down.
Right.
Minnesota's not for real lockdown.
No, we went to Lake Calhoun or whatever you call it now. We went out there and tons of people.
Oh, really?
Tons of people there.
Huh.
Just because of Megan. She can't stay in the house. I can stay in the house. I'm used to working on my computer at home and staying in isolation. Oh, she'll go crazy. She's very socialite, and
it's weird because I can, right? Like I've done it tons.
Yeah.
But when I'm
forced
like,
to?
yeah, it's like wait.
Yeah. What do you mean I can't? Yeah, no.
And
I feel you on
the
that.
main deal is common areas, gyms, all that stuff is shut down, and like I don't know about you, man, but when you put in about 10 hours in the beginning of the day and you take that time and you go work out and you get some food in you, maybe listen to some music and kind of shut down, or maybe just talk to somebody like you that I run into, you know, chop it up, maybe vent a little bit depending on the day. That little break from the computer, from that isolated work, whew,
it's necessary.
I'm gonna go back home and work, bro.
It's necessary.
I'm ready.
Exactly. It's like it's a recharger. Absolutely. I need the gym.
Yeah.
And it sucks working. I mean, like I said, I've been an athlete my whole life, so I've been a gym rat my whole life, and now having to do home workals and cardio, I'm just like, oh no.
I'm running outside when I can, but I'm gonna buy a bike. I don't know.
It's not for me. How are you navigating this whole thing though? I mean, you said 30 down 40%. I mean, how are you gonna navigate this?
Well, long story short,
yeah,
that's a rough number, right? And it's only been like that in the last maybe week. Okay. Before that, it is tapering down, right? As stuff stays fucked up for longer,
right?
Most likely that's going to continue.
Gotcha.
But you know, fortunately, that particular store does well, and a lot of things that happened in the last maybe 12 months to make that store be able to withstand a significant decrease and still pay bills. And there is some small business assistance out there called the payroll protection loan.
Heard of it.
And, you know, I'm just not eligible to fill out application yet. I have dual ownership, right? So they literally only have it up for single owner businesses to participate in right now. And so they're trying, you know, but $350 billion to small business aid seemed like a lot.
Not very much. Not
very much. They're already going back and asking for another $250 billion. So
saw that.
The question will be: will there be any money left when I'm able to apply, and will I be able to get it? And so I'll deal with that when the time comes. But I do work in real estate. I work in home mortgage specifically, right? And if you're in it, you do know that there is arguably the most business ever right now.
Really?
Like ever in history.
Oh, wow.
We're having difficulties processing it because we're dealing with some stay-at-home work orders. I mean, it's everybody, right? And kids are at home. It's hard to work when you're trying to teach your kid whatever they need to learn. That is not part of my responsibility. Nicole's on that.
Okay.
We got it organized, you know, and some of my guys are taking extra hours to facilitate that because she can't go to the store and work. I can't do my job. And I need to do my job because I might have to support the GNC with my job. Right. It depends. You know, I shouldn't have to, but if the money's gone, the money's gone. So
do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
And we'll take it day by day. I'm definitely more fortunate than a lot of others. You know, we got a lot of good customers, and it's relationships, man. Like, you know, I know Mitch and Nicole. Man, some people are just looking for something to maybe do for 20 minutes that isn't high risk. Right. You can come talk to your boy at GNC, pick up some immune supplements or whatever you want to do, and that might be your little serenity for the day, right?
Absolutely.
Because depending on what you got going on, you just might not be going out in the world right now, and especially if you do have some high-risk issues. I'm not really worried about dying from the virus. I really think, like, at this point, nobody really knows what's up. So I'm just going to plan on getting it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to fucking stay in the house till we have a vaccine.
Yeah, I know. If it was me, I would stay in the house. Honestly, I'd be on lockdown. I wouldn't go anywhere. I mean, I know I'm not in the high-risk area, but I think I saw 1,000 people die yesterday.
So I'm not talking about going out there and being stupid, right?
Yeah.
But I will continue to do things that I have to make sure that my family and myself is going to be all right, and my businesses will be too.
Absolutely.
And I just, at this point, man, a year out for a vaccine, we're going to figure out a way to go back to work and get normal. I don't know what that looks like, and all of our businesses might be impacted, but you just got to pay attention to what's going on every day, and taking in the information and not freaking out.
Of course.
I don't watch much of the news channels, man. It's just not for me.
No, I was staying up on it the first couple of days, and then I'm just like, I got exhausted of it.
Repeat.
It's just more fear. Like, oh no, more people got infected. Like, no shit. More people got affected. Yeah. Like, come on. Like, Yeah.
And I actually read on the subject quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because the subject does impact the financial markets in our business like pretty significantly.
Sure.
You know, people are allowed to defer their mortgage payments on most loans that are backed by the government. But it's just that we're in a time of crisis. It's necessary to be able to do that for the people that need it. Well, what does that mean? It means you can't fucking regulate it. It means everybody can do it. You know, there's a lot of misinformation out there, though, and people think it's free money, and it's not. You skip 3 months, give me 4 months after the 120 days. Where it at?
Of course.
And that is the way it works.
Right.
And then if you can't do that, you have to work with your servicer to create another payment plan. How does that affect your credit? Are you required to stay in the house? So there'll be some long-term effects on that, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people, 10+ million people unemployed right now. There's still loopholes in that. We'll call it 8 million that maybe need it.
Right.
But the point is the damage is already done now that we can't see in the future. But you will be able to see it unfold. So I'm just going to stay steady watching, and I'm interested to see how everybody reacts to it, you know? I just don't think we've seen the last of the layoffs. We got another full month to go.
Oh, yeah, no.
And then I would love to go to a sporting event. I don't think those will come back online as soon as some other businesses are allowed to. But when they do, man, that's going to be the day where I'm going to be happy.
Oh, absolutely. You think NFL's going to be back?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I think they should. We'll see.
We'll see, though.
We'll see.
So your brain's all over the place. What do you got going on right now? You just dropped a little hint right before we got on.
Yeah.
So tell me about this this product.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been searching for a physical product for a while now, and I've bounced a couple ideas off of you, some that I may pursue in the future.
So them ones you bounced on me, they're on hold right now.
They're on hold. I've done a little research and development on them, but they're on hold for now. Yeah. All right. But yeah, this new product is it's called Tipsy Topple. Essentially, it's taking your classic favorite game Jenga. And putting shot glasses, or not shot glasses, I should say Jello shots in the center of them. So when you press out a block, you may get a shot, you may not.
Gotcha.
It's kind of just a slight twist on.
And shot of alcohol, to be specific.
Shot of alcohol. Yes, this is an adult version.
But you could easily modify that for your kids and have some
absolutely.
fun.
Yeah. You could put water in there. You could put juice in there. I mean, if you really wanted to. Yeah. So
gotcha.
It's a fun little game. It may. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with it. Let's just say that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So obviously TDS is your main focus. What can you say on how to balance the mind that goes 100 miles an hour? Because you got to stay on track, right? And I'm not saying I do one thing, because I fucking don't. But you definitely got to pay attention to how distracted you maybe get.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you don't want to get into too many endeavors, but also with Tedious, you got to keep in mind that my goal with Tedious is to automate as much as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, Tedious is a pretty automated machine as it is right now. When customers request our providers, they pick them up. We don't have to notify them. It automatically notifies them. They automatically get payments. They automatically get their tax information. So everything is pretty automated. So really the only thing that I have to touch is in customer service. I've outsourced that. But marketing is really the only thing that I really have to touch and continue to grow our customer base and our provider base.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really automated machine that doesn't take too much of my time, to be honest.
Yeah. You got any statistics on, I don't know what they'd call it, right? But it'd be a repurchase rate of sort. What kind of customer does your service more than once, or is it still too early for that?
It's still pretty early, to be honest. Like I said, we just did our first full year, and obviously there's seasons too, so it's like you can't really compare the numbers for lawn and for snow. They're
totally different.
They're completely different. So we're still pretty young in that, for sure.
Yeah. Right on, man. Right on. So getting to the boring ass part, but super important part you know, is you're probably going to be filing taxes for what, your first or second time on this guy?
Second.
Did you guys have to deal with that with Podium at all? Like, you know, how do you get like the outsourcing and all that stuff for coding and running your actual business and getting the product and doing all this, even making a physical product, right? Getting a prototype, all that stuff, right? But what can you say on books and accounting, right? Just for somebody that doesn't know how that works, because in my opinion, you don't figure that shit out till you have to. I'm not thinking about taxes until I already fucking made my company.
Entrepreneurs don't like that kind of stuff. Taxes, legal, any of that kind of stuff. Entrepreneurs don't like that. No. But I guess what's your specific question? I
mean, do you got some people handling that for you?
Yeah,
Did you
absolutely.
take some recommendations from some other people?
Yeah.
You know, do you still apply the same principle as we talked about before, where I got to know enough about this so I don't make mistakes,
right?
But I actually don't like it.
No, I mean, I hate accounting, bookkeeping, all that. I mean, that's, as an entrepreneur, you want to have a good a good lawyer that you can at least bounce ideas off of, and problems off of, and then also a good accountant.
What'd you graduate with for the major, by the way?
It was sports management.
Right.
So I wanted to be sport management with a business minor. So
I got you.
I did have a business background. And like I said, I thought I was going to be running a huge athletic department, flying on private jets to the football games and that kind of thing. And but I got a little bit of business background, and my family also does business. Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. Well, dude, I'm glad to hear that everything is not impacting you too drastically yet. You know, the future's unknown. We're real early in this, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think the next 6 to 18 months will be an interesting time in America, and hopefully not too bad for a lot of people. You know, it sounds like that the government is taking care of a lot of people right now.
Right.
And hopefully we got a plan to get out of that.
I hope so.
Me too.
I hope so.
Because, you know, I hope a lot of us survive, the small business community, right? Which is crazy because a lot of this aid, right? I think small business is defined in this in the aid sector is less than 500 employees per location.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking big, dude.
Is it per location?
Per location. They changed it. They changed it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know the actual definition of a quote-unquote small business. I just know that it's 99% of businesses in America.
Well, you know, they were supposed to give out $10,000 per business. And
I signed up
that.
for that. I signed up for that.
But they changed that.
Yeah.
Now they're giving you $1,000 per employee, which $1,000 per employee, like, I mean, what's that really going to do for... You know,
and apparently they only had $10 billion allocated for that. But when I was talking about $350 allocated to the other one that's already running out of money, $10 billion is nothing.
Nothing.
Which is fascinating to think about. That $10 billion ain't much to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. So Megan works for the government. They're still figuring out a way to get their stuff done behind the scenes.
Yep. She's still working from home. So yeah, we're on top of each other right now. Working side by side. So trying to figure out that new dynamic relationship. Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, man. I'm gonna wrap it up with a couple of questions, dude.
Okay.
And these are just real simple ones, man.
Okay.
So you love sports.
Love
I'm probably going to guess. I already know. The first question is what's your favorite sport, but it's football, yeah?
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, who's your favorite team?
I'm a hometown guy. Vikings.
Okay,
Skull.
Woo!
I was a Cowboys fan growing up, but I'm a Vikings now.
Why did Cowboys strike your interest other than it's just like the fucking team?
Oh, man.
Quarterback?
It was a team. No, it was more Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders, back when,
They had an A squad.
Yeah, how do you not love those guys?
Yeah. I would imagine it's probably a little different growing up in our era right now if you're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Cowboys would no. It's the Patriots now.
The Patriots? Really?
Oh, dude. I mean, I don't know. I just know they win a lot.
Okay.
So that's the bandwagon.
Okay.
You know? But that's going to get weird this year.
Yeah, with Brady
Tom
gone.
Brady, bro.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, so who's your favorite music artist?
J. Cole, easy. J. Cole. If you don't know J. Cole, go touch up on J. Cole, man. He's a very conscious, lyrical person.
I didn't find out about it until probably a year ago, bro.
Man, I've been listening to him since college, and I mean, he's just so relatable.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. Sober House when I found out about him.
Yeah, but I mean, if you haven't listened to J. Cole, really, and not just his mainstream hits, listen to his mixtapes, and like Friday Night Lights, The Warm Up, those Good stuff.
Good
for
stuff.
Sure.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
All right, man. So,
Roddy Ricch is nice too, right? He's my up and coming artist right now.
Roddy Ricch?
Roddy Ricch.
Roddy Ricch.
Roddy Ricch, the one the box the
Double D? How do you spell it?
RODDY RICH. I think E. Is there E on the end? Maybe there's an E. I don't know.
We can find it with
But
that.
it's the box. You know the song, The Box.
I don't know, bro.
It starts off like No? Okay.
No, man, I gotta look at it, man. I've been slaving away, bro.
Okay.
It's been game time for like a while now.
Yeah, you know it. I'll play it for you after this. You'll know it.
Well,
for sure.
I probably was in alone and the playlist just goes, bro, and you just in the zone, right?
Yeah.
I don't even hear what's going on other than it's a nice beat in the background.
Yeah.
But I do agree, J. Cole
Yeah.
is deeper than a lot of people probably give him credit for.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And his lyrics, man. Eminem, I was a solid him growing up, but that's really because of his lyrics, right? And I'm all for beats, but I do like lyrics in my artist choices.
Absolutely, I have to.
Yeah.
I can't. This new age stuff, and I sound like an old man now. I'm only 30, but this new age stuff, I can't really get with it.
No. It's gotta have
Some kind of substance.
Yes,
some kind of
that's
meat.
the right
Yeah,
word. That's the right word.
yeah.
All right, so it doesn't have to be movie. I'm just talking about film now, right? What's the
man.
favorite series, movie, anything in that sector?
Okay. Right now we've been really watching Money Heist. Have you seen Money Heist on Netflix? It's a TV show.
I don't. Oh,
You should definitely check that out.
Is it a series?
Yeah, it's a series.
Give me like an example of what one of the episodes is about.
They're robbing a bank. They go into the bank and they figure out a clever way to get out without getting caught. But the whole first season's in the one bank.
So
it's
you,
a really
so you don't
cool-
really get down with like The Office or some of the some of the mindless television.
No, I can't do The Office.
Sorry, Nicole.
No. I'm not an Office fan. I'm not any of those weird. That's just not my kind of comedy. I don't find that stuff funny at all.
No.
I need something that's gonna make me think. Like
Because here's the deal. My mind will just go to wherever it goes before if it's not like catching my attention.
It has to. I can't. Yeah. Now, absolutely. That's exactly how it is. What are some other good recommendations I want to give you? Breaking Bad's a great one.
I like
if you haven't
Breaking
seen
Bad.
Breaking Bad, Prison Break. That's another money heist kind of thing.
You got to put in some time on that one. A lot of episodes, so be careful.
Yeah.
Prison
yeah.
Break's a lot of episodes, bro.
Yeah, it is. There's one more I want to give you. It's a movie, and I can't think of it. Jesus Christ. It takes place in Venice. It's about also a heist.
Italian Job. Mark
Wahlberg.
Right?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite movies.
You must like a good plan being
I
executed.
do. Exactly. And I was like, dang, Money Heist, Prison Break, Italian Job. They all kind of like bank robberies or like scams or whatever.
Yeah. I always like to find out those three questions, man, because I like sports, I like music, and usually the television shows or movies that you like say something about how your mind works.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's got to be entertainment, right? And everybody has a different definition. So,
Yeah.
man, dude, it's been great having you on. I appreciate it, bro. And hopefully we'll be able to do this again on the other side when we see what the summertime looks like, man.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be an exciting summer, man. We're both going to come out on the other end.
For sure.
Great. And no, I appreciate you having me on. This was great. We got to do it again for sure.
Absolutely, man.
So,
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
For sure, dude.
All right. We'll do not too much social distancing, but we'll take it.
I figured I had to give you a pound.
It's all good.
It's all good.
All right.
All right, brother. Let's do it.
Peace.
Take that and rewind it back.